Hi, my name is Manuel Metzger. I'm the winner of the 2016 edition of the 24-hour race at the Nürburgring. This year's edition, I'm racing with the Mercedes-AMG Team HRT in the number 4 Mercedes-AMG GT3, and you are listening to the GT Report podcast.
Hey everyone, it's Miguel with another GT Report podcast. It's a special week this week because it's the Nürburgring 24 hours weekend. My guest on the podcast this week is none other than 2016 winner Manuel Metzger. I first met Manuel back in 2015 when he was racing the Black Falcon Porsche GT3 Cup with Erwan. That was also the year when he shot to fame with 2 overall wins. First in the SLS GT3 of Black Falcon, and then 2 weeks later together with Erwan and Philip Eng in the GT3 Cup during what I remember as the craziest VLN race that I've ever seen. Since then, Manuel has gone on to many more victories and became an integral part to Black Falcon and Haupt Racing Team's success at the Nürburgring. This weekend, Manuel will be racing alongside Maro Engel, Adam Christodoulou and Lucas Stolz aboard the number 4 Haupt Racing Team Mercedes-AMG GT3. And, at least in my opinion, they are the number 1 candidates to win again. Hi Manuel, thank you for being on the podcast. How are you doing?
Thanks, Miguel. I'm doing great. Being well prepared for the 24-hour race, and cannot wait until it finally starts going.
Yeah, you've had a really good preseason, and last year you've already also won a couple of races. So, yeah, what kind of a feeling are you going into it? Do you feel like you are the number 1 candidate?
That's always hard to say if you are the top favorite or not, but for sure, some people see our car, the number 4, as a favorite, as we performed really well in the preparation races. We won NLS2 and won NLS3. I think we had a very good chance to win also NLS5, but unfortunately, Maro had a contact with the left car, so we had to stop the race quite early. That was a bit of a shame. But we are well prepared. We have a great car. The team worked really good, and from the first test on, I felt, or every driver felt really good. Some took some more laps to get used to it again after this long break during Corona. But with the preparation we had, we are all very similar in pace, and I think we have a very strong lineup to compete for the victory.
Is there any difference in the way that you have been preparing for this race as compared to last year? Because it's now, on paper, it's a new team, but of course still the same people involved. So is there any difference, or is it just the same?
It was basically the same. Normally we always have a test day on the Nordschleife separately to the NLS event. So usually the AMG rents the Nordschleife for 1 day, that we get some driving without traffic and then can drive a lot and test a lot. This didn't happen, unfortunately, this year because I think there was no space left to rent the track. This was the only difference, because there you can train like quali runs and stuff without the traffic for the top qualifying, which, by the way, we still have to qualify. But other than that, it was the same. For me personally, as a preparation, I think I'm fitter than ever because I had more time than ever to do sports, as we had the COVID break. Fortunately, in Switzerland, we could go out and didn't have a lockdown, so I did a lot of cycling, went to the gym, and personally feel very ready for the next couple of days.
So you're like a Hulk now.
No, I don't really look like a Hulk. Maybe my legs look more like a Hulk. I think I look the same. I lost like 1 or 2 kilos in weight because of doing long bike rides, which loses some weight. But for sure, this will not be an advantage or a big advantage.
No, maybe you can press the throttle a little bit harder, but
yeah, exactly.
That's it. Of course, in 2016, you actually won the race. What are some of the most memorable moments of that race? Of course, other than crossing the finish line.
Yeah, for me, it was basically being on the car was one of the most memorable things. Even before, when they told me in the end of 15 that I can do some test races, let's say in the SLS of Black Falcon, to see if I'm good for a possible works entry in 16. This was already quite a big step for me, and then to finally get the call that I can drive with Bernd Schneider, Maro Engel, and Adam Christodoulou was a big honor for me to be on the car. And from the beginning on, we had a very good. We worked very well together. I did a lot of data that I got to speed quickly. For me, the most memorable thing during the race was I had a night stint, a double stint, when the track started to dry. I went out first with rain tires, got overtaken by one or two cars, didn't feel too good. Then the track started to dry. I went to slicks, overtook all the cars back, and overtook way more and catched some other Mercedes very quickly. This was a very nice stint where I gained a lot of time on all the competitors. And also then in the morning I had a stint where the track was fairly empty, when I had 2 or 3 laps where I could do possibly the best lap time of the race. But as you always have some traffic, I catched up big traffic here and there. But I did some purple sectors there in the morning. And this was just a great feeling to kind of fly through the competition and gain lap time, and then making one big step towards the goal. And of course, the last hour was pretty memorable because I had the stint, the penultimate stint. So I left the car and handed over to Maro. And then I was sitting in the pits, getting cooling down from my stint, and was seeing like, okay, we're running P4, but we don't have to pit again. They all have to pit. Maybe we can win this race, I thought. So this was the most memorable thing, the last hour. And then when Maro overtook the HGP Mercedes, just great memories to remember.
Yeah, after that pass, you won the race. Was that win? Did it completely change how your racing career went?
Not big time, to be honest. I expected maybe to get a bit more attention with other manufacturers or so, but this didn't really happen. What happened was that I got a contract with AMG. I was very happy that they signed me at least for the Nürburgring races. So since then, I'm a fixed part of the Nürburgring program. This is for sure one thing that changed, that I finally was earning money for racing. This was the biggest change this race made for me, or this race win.
Then it's really starting to pay off all the time and effort that you spent into racing.
Yeah, sure. And also I took the decision 2015 to stop my normal job, because until that I was doing a normal job. I had a normal job, and I was studying during the job, so I was working 80% and had 2 half days of school to do a technician degree in Switzerland. And I had to travel to work an hour each time, so my day was really packed. Plus I had racing back then with Erwan in the SP7 Porsche, which I committed to the whole season, which was 10 races. So the time for everything else, for free time and my girlfriend, got a bit less. So I wanted to ask my company that I can work less, but it didn't wanted that. So they said, you must stay on 80%. So I was discussing with my girlfriend how we should go on, and she said, take the risk, go for racing, finish your technician degree, which I did in 15, and I concentrated on racing, which in the end paid off by that time because I got the chance then to really perform well and to concentrate on racing. And from then on, I had really good success. Also, I think last year, or not, I think it was my best year, 2019. 24-hour race was not the best because we crashed at 11 o'clock leading the race, but all the rest of the season was great. I was racing in Asia. I helped my teammate who got champion there in the Blancpain Asia. And also here with Patrick Assenheimer, I won 2 or 3 races. So it was really, really a good year. And it paid off to do that decision in 15 to concentrate on racing and do it full time.
Yeah, big risk, but like you said, it paid off. Tell me about the craziest thing you've ever experienced in the 24 hours, inside or outside of the car.
Inside the car was for sure 2018, the rain in the nighttime. Because before I always was driving in dry conditions in nighttime. But then going into the car, knowing, okay, it will rain heavily. And I was the first one going out on rain tires. I was very nervous and not sure how I will perform, how will it be. Because I think on Thursday in one of the free practices, we also had rain. And I didn't feel very comfortable with the car and didn't have a lot of safety, let's say. But then in nighttime, I went in and the circumstances were just perfect. I went out of the Grand Prix track, did a few corners and felt, wow, this feels great. Let's see how it is in the Nordschleife. And it went on feeling great. So immediately I had a lot of confidence. And started to push. That's also where I overtook leads then on the outside in Miss Hit Miss. That was for sure the craziest thing, because later on it started raining more and more and more, and it was really hard to keep temperature in the tire because if you slow down, on some points you have to because you just aquaplane off the street. But if you slow down, the temperature of the tire goes down, the pressures go down, then you get even more aquaplaning. So this was really not easy to keep the car on the track there. This for sure was crazy. And from outside of the car, it was also again in 16, where we had this big rain and hailstorm in the beginning of the race. I remember standing in the pit lane and it was basically quite a nice atmosphere. The sun was shining a bit, there was some clouds. And then you saw these TV pictures from Schwedenkreuz, and you were thinking, what's going on? Is this? Can it be that the weather is that different there? That was for me the craziest thing to watch from the outside. How the conditions changed that quickly, and again makes you have a lot of respect and just respect from the Nordschleife, because this can also happen at the weekend that you run with slicks and in the middle of the forest you have a rainstorm or a rain shower or whatever,
or a hailstorm.
You never know. Or fog, I don't know, name it.
Oh yeah.
Everything is possible at the Nürburgring. It can be scorching hot, and then the next moment it can be...
Yeah, maybe a deer. I saw
snowing.
Instagram story this week from Moritz Kranz. He was instructing for the Nürburgring here, where there was a big deer on track. And because we're getting closer to autumn, I think we have more of these animals coming out.
Yeah.
So let's see what we'll have at the weekend.
Yeah, there aren't fences all around the track, so that could be a problem. But let's hope your craziest experience is still the rain. I hope it stays like
that's
probably the safest.
Maybe it snows this weekend. I don't know. We have 5 degrees.
Could be. It's going to be cold. It's going to be rainy. What has been the biggest heartbreak for you at 24 hours? Was that last year or maybe the year before or something else?
No, it was for sure 2018 when we were leading the race ahead of Manthey with like 4.5 minutes and then had the red flag this for sure was the most heartbreak, because I think we deserved the win. For sure, we were not fast enough then in the last hour. But that felt quite bad to be second. I mean, I was still happy with second. If you come second in the 24 hours at Nürburgring, it's still a great effort. I think other drivers fight their whole career to get on the podium, and to be second then is still a great achievement. But the circumstances, how it happened, I still felt sad the days after, because we were always fast, we were always in front, and then this happened. So, but that's the things you cannot really control, and you have to take them, and that's racing. And in the end, just Manthey was quicker in the rain, and so you have to accept it.
Yeah, the only problem really was that they had a penalty, but that was negated because of the red flag, and that's how that must make it extra painful maybe, because otherwise, if nothing crazy would have happened, you would have won the race.
Yeah, and also how they stopped the race because of fog and heavy rain, and when they restarted the race, it was still foggy. I think it was even more fog than before, and it was even more rain than before. So for me, it was just continuing for the TV to make a great show, which it was, because it was just us two fighting for the win, as we were one lap ahead of the rest.
Yeah.
For the spectator, it was great. It was also great to watch for us racing drivers. But for safety reasons, I think it was not a great decision to start again.
Yeah, let's leave it at that. What are some of the small things during the race that makes you smile, that makes you just happy to be there?
The whole team effort. I mean, we drivers, we have to work together, but also the mechanics, the team management, the engineering, everything has to come together, and we have to have a good mood the whole weekend. And we try to keep that up. Also, if we have some setbacks, that will come here and there, because maybe one driver needs a stint to get into his rhythm and is not performing well. Then you need to cheer him up to get some self-confidence, to get up to speed, and just the atmosphere in between us drivers. We have 3 cars here at the weekend. We didn't change a lot the teams, so since 2 or 3 years we have mainly the same driver combinations, or the same driver pool, let's say. So we know each other really well, and it's always a nice atmosphere. And especially with us in the team, I have Luca now in the team, Luca Stolz. He went from the second place car last year to our car. I'm a really good friend with him since 1 or 2 years. We cycle a lot together and texting every day on WhatsApp. So it's just good to be with friends at the weekends. Also, I'm not racing this year, so I'm to leave my home, let's say, to meet my friends at the racetrack. This is what makes me smile, definitely, to just be back at the place with the people I like to be together and have a good time.
Can you kind of feel from the mood within the team what kind of a race it's going to be, if you're going to be successful or if it's just not going to be what you had hoped for?
Not from the beginning on. I think now for the weekend we have to see how we start, if we perform well from the beginning on. We for sure have a good mood, but if we are just in the midfield, then you have to motivate yourself and find these 10th or 2nd what's missing. But you feel straight away that how the mood is. But normally, like I said, the mood is great because everybody's looking forward to race and to be here and to do the thing we love the most. That's racing.
How would you describe the driving style of each of your co-drivers?
We are quite similar, to be honest, and especially this year I adapted a few things from Mauro, let's say, or from Mauro, because he's very gentle on the steering, very easy. Also Luca. Here and there I was a bit more rough with my steering input, so I changed a bit that. For sure, from all of us drivers, Mauro is the one that I would say is the most aggressive in traffic and overtaking, which he showed quite often, I think. Not just on the Nürburgring, also Macau and other races. You have to really be aggressive to make up spots and be up front. So therefore, I'm really happy we have him in the team. Also, for top qualifying, he's just exceptionally at this, because he, in a normal race, we are quite similar in pace, but I think I couldn't do what Mauro does in top quali, because there he just gets everything together on one point, and that makes him so good for these top qualifyings. I think from the last 4 years, he had 2 or 3 times pole. Let's say 5 years, he had 2 times or 3 times pole. And that's because he's Mauro. He's delivering here, no matter the conditions and whatever. So he's just there and performing.
And your other teammates?
Yeah, they're kind of like me. Luca and Adam. I think we are very similar. We don't take a lot of risk in traffic. Yeah, Adam had this unfortunate moment last year when he collided with another car. But that's also like bad luck. I mean, that could also happen to me or Luca or whoever. If you commit and you think it will work, there's a lot of space, and the other car does a thing you don't expect, then it's just bad luck, because you have to decide within 10th of a second what you do. And half a second later, you find out, okay, that was the wrong decision. And you cannot change a lot. So I think we are quite similar. We are all very calm. We are not too emotional. Nobody freaks out on the radio because of some lap car or whatever, because we just know it doesn't make sense to complain about traffic and having yellows and stuff, because all the others have too. So therefore, I think we are a very relaxed driver pairing, and that also makes us so strong, that we are calm and that we are not complaining about every little detail, because we're just taking it and try to drive around it and make the best of it.
So you've learned some things from Mauro. Do you do that often, to take some aspects of someone else's driving style and try it out yourself to see if it works?
Yeah, that's also what the others do. And I think car number 4 especially good. Also NLS 5, we had the test day in the morning. We were all 4 really, really quick. We were 2 or 3 seconds faster than the other 2 cars. And at 10 o'clock or 10:30, we were still all 4 in the truck, looking at data and video of ourselves, of every other driver from us, to see where does Adam corner better, where does I corner better, where's Mauro a bit better, that we can maximize all our performance. And I think this is a big advantage of us 4, that we don't stop working, even if we are already really quick. We want to get the best out of it, because the Nordschleife is that long. There's always corners where the other one is quicker, or where I'm quicker than others because of driving style, or I like the corners more, or whatever. So Mauro could learn from me in a few corners. I could learn from Mauro. I can learn from Luca. He can learn from me, and with Adam the same. So everybody can learn from everybody, and I think that's a main thing in endurance racing that you have to consider as a driver. And it's not about you, it's about the team, and then you also have to work together and be
self-improving?
Yeah, self-improving, and you have to will to self-improve to get faster.
Does it then also help that you have the core group of drivers, you, Mauro and Adam, and then over the past few years you've rotated since Bernd Schneider, since he retired, you've had Jelmer, you had Dirk Müller, of course, and now you have Lukas Stolz. Does that help to have the same drivers, but still have some new people come in?
Yeah, for sure that helps, because you know how the others work, how they behave. And this makes it a lot easier that we have this core driver lineup. When I thought about my 24-hour history, it's my 10th race this year, my 10th 24-hour race here at the Nürburgring. Then I thought, shit, since 15, it's Adam and Maro I'm always joining. So it's the 5th year or the 5th race. Half of my races I did with Maro and Luca and Adam. This is crazy. I mean, I don't think there's another driver pairing in the field that did 5 races together. And I think that's also an aspect that makes us really good as a team.
From your teammates who you have not raced the GT3s with, which one of them did you learn the most from, or did you have the most fun with?
With Gabriele Piana, it's always fun. We never did a race together. We were always on undercars in the same team. So with him, it's always a good and fun time. And yeah, but maybe, I mean, as we are always within the same bubble, let's say, it's kind of the Black Falcon or HRT drivers, which you always have contact. For sure, within AMG, you always have contact with Lello, for example, with Raffaele Marcello. He's a fun guy and good to talk to. Yeah, but other than that, you concentrate on your weekend and on your work, and therefore you stay kind of within the team and having fun with the guys in the team.
So this weekend it will be held without fans around the Nordschleife, but there are some fans allowed on the GP track. In which ways does that change the racing itself? Without the fireworks, without the fire, without the light around the track, does that change the racing itself?
I think it will be really special. First of all, the nighttime will be longer as we are later in the year, so I think we can expect 10 to 11 hours of darkness. It will be more dark than in May because normally it's just 6 to 8 hours. It's not even full dark. And without having any lights on track, this for sure will be different. I think I know it from Dubai. Because Dubai also, there's no light around the track, but it's not in the middle of the forest where you normally have these lights, and you have the barbecues, you have the fireworks at nighttime. This for sure will be very, very special. And also the fact that we just have 100 cars, around 100 cars, is special. So there will be less overtaking. The race will be quicker. Yeah, it will be a special race for sure. Also, the travel to here was special because normally when you arrive Tuesday or Wednesday, the whole track is already packed with campers and fans, and it was just empty. So yeah, it's really weird.
Mm-hmm. And there's not the racing day in Adenau, so it saves you a lot of time, I guess.
Yeah, but still, it would have been today. Today's Wednesday. We have time on Wednesday, so it was always a good thing to go there to show the cars to the fans, to do an interview on the stage, to hand out some autograph cards. I mean, that's also part of the 24-hour Nürburgring, and that this doesn't happen is also pretty sad. Also, the iconic photo of the pre-grid ahead of Saturday's race is always like going around the world. This won't be the same as well. It will be quite empty with just spectators on the Grand Prix track. At least this is possible. I don't know the number they allow.
4,000, I believe.
4,000.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I didn't read a number. I just saw that they have the grandstands open, but I didn't see a number. I was hoping for a bit more because they just announced that Formula One can have 20,000. Mm-hmm. So I was hoping to have a bit more, but yeah, it is what it is. At least some fans can be here and can enjoy at least the Grand Prix track. But on the other hand, Wiege and RTL Nitro, they do a great job in presenting the 24-hour race completely live, I think, on RTL Nitro in television, and for sure there will be a web live stream with many onboard cameras, helicopters. So I think still there's is a good broadcast will be made throughout the world to be part of it.
Mm-hmm. It's up to you to make the show now. It's not about the party anymore.
I think there will be a show.
All right. Looking forward to that. What else is different this year in terms of the racing?
You have to wear a mask. You have to keep distance. This is for sure different. All the surrounding is different. You don't go to the administration and stuff like this. So the small details make it different. There are no guests allowed. Normally I have my family here, my girlfriend and my daughter. They were not allowed to come, which also gives you kind of support to have them here and to speak about one or the other thing, which maybe is on your mind. So this has to be done by phone. That's the main difference for me.
Who do you think your biggest competitors will be this weekend?
Yeah, unfortunately, the Porsche guys cannot be here because they had these COVID cases within their crew in Le Mans, so they didn't send 9 of the works drivers. If they would be here, for sure the Grello and one of the Fricadelli cars would have been a big competition. Audi, for sure, is really strong. They showed great performances in the NLS races. They have 2 or 3 really, really good cars. For me, the car with Bortolotti, I don't know the full lineup. Bortolotti, Freins, Winkelhock, Hase, I think, is it? This car.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think this car is a big threat. Also the Rove BMWs, they're always quick. So for me, there's 8 to 10 cars which can win it. Also the Ferrari, you don't know, they were performing really well in the NLS races. They just have a different tire partner. They have Goodyear, so I don't know how their wet tires are, how they will work. Also for us, it will be special because at these low temperatures, I also don't know how the Michelin works. This we will see if it really rains, but I guess so. So for sure Audi and BMW are the biggest threats. But still Porsche, there's one KCMG car, and also one Fricadelli car, which also could play a role. So. And for sure, within AMG, it's the Gatsby car with Marcello, Schiller, Götz, and Hook. So these cars are the main threats or the main competitors.
It maybe even looks like the number 31 Porsche from Fricadelli, the Porsche. It might have now that they've changed the lineup. Maybe it's just as strong as before with Lascan, Yamine, who else? Lens and Maxime Martin.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's not like Porsche.
Especially in the rain, the Porsche is very good. So I think they're still. Yeah, of course they are not as good as before, but they're still strong. So we should also keep them in mind for sure.
And we shouldn't talk about the balance of performance, but if you have to be honest, then the AMG's BOP, it's good right now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good. I looked at the sheet yesterday. I compared it to 2019. We even have a smaller restrictor, and all the other cars are roughly the same. They're even lighter. Audi is 10 kilos or 15 kilos lighter than last year, as they won the race. Porsche is even 25 kilos lighter than last year, but have a smaller restrictor. We have the same weight as last year and have a smaller restrictor. BMW has a bigger restrictor and less weight. So it looks a bit strange to me, but in the NLS races, we were there, we were fast. So we cannot complain about the BOP. If you win 2 races out of 3 you started, I think there's no need to complain.
No.
It's going to be very rainy this weekend. It's only going to add to the challenge. So what is it going to take to win the race?
For sure some luck. If you have conditions like this, I mean, if it rains for 24 hours, then it's the same for everybody. But for sure on some point it will stop raining, could dry out, could start again. Then you just need to be lucky to have a good spot on the track to maybe make the right decision to go into the track. I mean, if it starts raining like it did in 17, the last hour, and you just pass the pit lane and it starts raining, you have to do 1 lap with slicks. If you're 3 minutes behind and you see, okay, it starts raining and you go in, you gain. So therefore, you have to be a bit lucky. You have to anticipate right. And I think the main thing is just to keep the car on the track. We saw that last year. we were pushing like hell the first 6 hours. If you just take it a little bit more easy, surviving the nighttime, a lot of cars are out anyway because of pushing too much, having crashes or whatever technical stuff. This showed the last 5 years I did now that when you drive through the race without a scratch on the car, with a good pace, you can always fight for the top 3 or top 5. And that's the main thing. Just drive, keep the car on the track, do no mistakes, and then normally you are within the top 3.
And then you need a little bit of luck to win.
Yeah, you always need luck. I mean, we had luck in 16 that we had a bad quali in 16. We were starting P23 or so. Then at the restart, Bernd did the restart in the rain. He catch a lot of places. And then we just could catch up. And in the end, we were lucky that we were out of sequence once because we had a loose wheel. We had to stop earlier. And this made us being out of sequence to the others to finish a race without an extra pit stop. This is also luck. I mean, you always need luck to win a race. You can do a lot yourself, but in the end, you still need a bit of luck to make this or that decision right, or be at the right point on the track, or maybe don't get a code 60 which others had, or I don't know. There's a lot of things here to consider.
Sometimes you have some bad luck and it ends up being a lucky shot.
Yeah, can also be. I mean, it can turn into your favor. Like I said, in 16 we had a technical thing, had to pit earlier than planned, and thought, okay, now it's over anyway. But therefore, as the race turned out to be slower than expected, we could save a pit stop. So this, you never know what it will be good for if you have something. For sure, if you have a bigger problem and you have to pit and have to repair, this for sure will ruin your race. But all the other stuff can be also to your advantage. Therefore, I say you need to drive through without any incident, without any penalty, and then you're sorted well.
Manuel Metzger, thank you very much for your time and for your insights, and I wish you very much luck and have fun this weekend.
Thank you.
Again, a big thank you to Manuel, and if you want to follow him and a number of other drivers including Lars Kern, Tim Scheerbaert and David Pittard from up close during the 24 hours of the Nürburgring, then head over to GT Report and keep an eye out for our race preview and report, where they will give regular updates on how their race is going. Thank you for listening, and until next time.